The world economy was thrown into a state of turmoil after the devaluation of the dollar in 1971 and the first oil crisis triggered by the 1973 Arab-Israeli War. There grew a perception that addressing these global economic issues required a top-level forum among the developed countries. Thus, in 1975, then President of France, Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, invited Japan, the United States, the United Kingdom, West Germany, and Italy to a summit at the Château de Rambouillet, France. This was the first summit. This led to recognition of the importance of a forum to discuss policy coordination among the leaders of the developed countries, and the annual summit meetings began with a rotating presidency. Canada joined the group the following year at the Puerto Rico Summit, and the Group of 7 Nations was established. Summits have so far been held 4 times in Japan, beginning in Tokyo in 1979. This was the 5th summit. At the time, the Western Bloc nations were going through the second oil crisis, triggered by the Iranian Revolution the preceding year. At this meeting, hosted by Japan, which relied almost exclusively on the Middle East for its supply of crude oil, much of the discussion was focused on oil-related issues. At the 12th summit in 1986, again in Tokyo, the global economy was enjoying steady growth. It was a time when speculative bubbles began to grow in the Japanese economy. The meeting issued a forward-looking declaration calling for inflation-free economic growth. The Berlin Wall collapsed in 1989, and the subsequent meeting between the U.S. and Soviet leaders resulted in the end of the Cold War. The 19th summit was held in Tokyo in 1993, when international relations were undergoing changes following the end of the East-West confrontation. It called for closer coordination among the member countries, and they agreed to strengthen the United Nations and to tackle non-proliferation and environmental issues. Russia began taking part in the meetings at the Denver Summit in 1997, creating the Group of 8. At Japan's 4th summit in 2000, the Kyushu-Okinawa Summit, the leaders exchanged views on issues confronting humankind in the 21st century, from the perspective of achieving greater prosperity, deeper peace of mind, and greater world stability. Information technology, in particular, was positioned as holding the key to prosperity in the 21st century. The meeting produced the Okinawa Charter on Global Information Society, which cited the actions required to enable people around the world to utilize the opportunities presented by IT. The Okinawa Infectious Diseases Initiative was also announced, resulting in the establishment of the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, the world's 3 biggest infectious diseases. With the spread of globalization, the first outreach session for expanded dialogue with developing countries, including African countries, was launched to strengthen partnership with non-G8 countries. The July 2008 Hokkaido Toyako Summit will be the 5th to be hosted by Japan.